Cancel the rent, a phrase shouted by protesters in front of the governor's mansion earlier today. This protest comes as evictions could come early February of next year. Fox 61's Brian Didlake was there and has the latest.
Demonstrators say that the cancellation of rent is needed in the state because come next year, many people may not have a place to live. Through a caravan of cars and chanting from protesters. We'll be back! We'll be back! Demonstrators saying their piece in front of Governor Ned Lamont's residence in Hartford.
We're coming out here to ask Ned Lamont to cancel the rent. He's dilly-dallying on funds that he put into this rental relief program, and it's not helping. And there are hundreds of thousands of people in Connecticut who are at risk of losing their homes.
These are working people. You know, these are people that are waking up every day and serving you coffee and pumping gas and cleaning up your house and taking care of your loved ones. Who's taking care of us?
The governor extended a moratorium calling for no eviction of tenants from landlords to February 9th. Folks here say the COVID pandemic has already devastated Black and brown communities through their health and now through their pockets.
This melanin right here, there's a cost to that. There's a cost to migrating to America. We have to know that, and that's why we're here. To postpone the rent is a joke. It just means you get more time to file your taxes, and guess who you're going to owe after that?
Since the last moratorium extension in August, Governor Lamont said he hopes landlords and tenants can come to an agreement so that both parties can get through this pandemic together. But for those who criticize protesters saying people just need to fit the bill because landlords too have their own expenses, well, demonstrators have this to say.
If they want aid, then they need to be pushing Congress too. They need to be pushing Congress for aid for themselves instead of making it fall down on the American people's backs. That's ridiculous.
And demonstrators say that this will not be the last time that you see them. You can expect more from them in the near future. But for now, we are in Hartford. Brian Didlake, Fox 61 News.